I use it every day. I don't, unless the solicitor insists, take paper briefs. All my briefs are electronic and or soft copy or whatever you want to call it. And so when I get a brief, and that I get a variety of formats for briefs. One I got yesterday was quite good. It was called a PDF brief or something. I don't know what software they're using, but it arrived in one PDF so I could download it in one hit onto liquid text, or download it onto my hard drive and then into liquid text. And it was all bookmarked and tabbed and all the rest of it ready to roll. I read a brief either on the desktop or on my iPad if I'm going to be doing a fair bit of marking up, or it depends what it is. So yeah, I absolutely use it every day. I have run trials solely, like lengthy-ish trials for me, 8-day sort of trials with multiple witnesses on just with an iPad in court, and maybe a document, the pleadings, or some couple of documents in hard copy just for reference. And the way I've done that is to have a different workspace for each bunch of witnesses. And so I would call a workspace cross-examination of, I don't know, contamination experts, or whatever. I do environmental planning law, so contamination experts or town planners or flood experts or whatever it is. And then I would, of course, have all the documents, all the reports down the index, and I would go through them. And auto excerpt is best for me because my handwriting is rubbish, and so I would do auto excerpt and then order that in an order of cross-examination. So I'd say, blogs, can I take you to page 63 of your report of such and such? And I hit the button and there it is for me, and he sorts through it and finds it eventually, and then we go from there. And then take him to, then I draw links to other documents. So that's how I have been preparing for hearings. And then during the hearing, I'll create a new page. Well, if there's a cross-examination page already existing for experts, I'll then just go across from that to actually take notes on the actual cross-examination that occurs, and of course my opponent's cross-examination of my experts, so that I've then got the workspace then becomes a reference point for all of the evidence from those particular. There's hot tubbing in joint and paneling of witnesses here, as there is in Victoria, I think. So then you have that's the place for all of the expert evidence on contamination, and then there'll be another page for other experts. So that's how I've been preparing for trials and using it during trials, and that works pretty well. I've used auto excerpt and also copy link. When I'm preparing, I'm usually preparing on my desktop here. I've got a very big, I don't know what size screen this is, a big screen that can hold sort of 3 A4 size things next to each other. And so I will create a Word document, and then I will copy the link and put it in the Word document. And yes, that works very well. So yes, I've to avoid using all the ink links, I've created either the auto accept, which of course comes with its own little arrow on the side, and you just touch that and it works like an ink link. But as I said before, it's harder to lose and harder to accidentally delete those. And also the copy link function, which I've discovered you can paste it into just a workspace, which I didn't realize until quite recently, which is quite helpful too. It makes my time more efficient because I can work anywhere. The 8-day case that I ran a couple of weeks ago that I was talking about, the bundle of documents was dropped on us several days before the hearing, as happens, and I think it was 17,000 pages. That's on top of the evidence book and the court book. And so had that been delivered to me in hard copy, that would have been a trolley full of stuff on top of the trolley full of stuff that was already in the various reports in the evidence book and court book and the rest of it. Now, that just saves time, because when I go to court, I pick this up and off I go. Whereas I would have to arrange a trolley pusher or 2 trolley pushers. And so that it saves time in that respect, but it also means I can just go home and I can work at home on the and it's all synced, of course. So it saves time in that respect. It certainly saves time to run your practice soft copy rather than hard copy. I think I can find things quicker on my iPad. I can certainly do word searches. A judge asks a question, has this witness considered a concept or something? I can do a word search and find that instantly. That otherwise, other barristers, you just can't answer that sort of question when you've got hard copy in a fault. You'd have to say, "Oh, my junior will look it up and tell you tomorrow," or something. So it makes the whole thing more efficient to answer questions from the bench. The case that I mentioned before with the huge bundle of documents that was dumped on us, I had to do the opening and the first few witnesses and whatever. The case was really about the documents. And so I had to take the court in my opening through the documents. And so that was a great, and the documents, as I mentioned, were thousands of pages. I can't remember how many actual documents there were in that, 300 or 400 maybe. So in my preparing my opening, I did it on my desktop here. I had my Word version of my opening, and I was copying and pasting links to the documents that I was going to take the judge to. And so that when I stood up for my opening, I said, "Your Honour, this is a case about blah, 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 and I'll take you through the bundle of documents. Can I first take you to document number 3 or 13 or something?" And then it came up and it was all highlighted and linked internally because some of the documents are very long. So highlighted on the PDF with links if there were gaps in pages that I didn't need to take the court to. Back to my notes, now take you to document 26, push the button, up comes document 26. Your Honour will see, blah, 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 blah. And on we went through the opening. The judge was also working paper-free in that particular trial. She didn't have liquid text, but she did have PDFs of the various volumes of the bundle. So it worked very well. And, it's just quicker. It's quicker and easier and much more efficient than, let me find volume 17 and I pull out volume 17 and can I take Your Honour to page 43 and the judge is looking for it. I can't find it. Did you say volume 14 or 15? I've got the wrong book. And it just takes longer. This is a very rudimentary kind of project in that all I did was extract these 4 cases. And then all I really did was highlight them. There were a number of things in this one. When I was just doing research on some savings and transitional provisions, I'm just selecting some text from a case, a paragraph which I've highlighted as being important. It gives me the option to auto accept, which I then do, and it automatically brings it over into the workspace. I can then edit it because it's got an extra word that I didn't want. So I can just click in there and delete the word that I didn't want. And there it is. I can then obviously highlight it within the workspace using the highlighter. In the cases that I have, there are multi-issue cases usually. The sort of planning environment cases that I do, there might be an issue about contamination or flooding or these kinds of things. So I would color code depending on the type of issue, the issue to which any evidence might be relevant. If I want to link, I shift and then scroll, and it brings the rest of the case up. So if I want to link the paragraph that I've highlighted, 79, with paragraph, 89, I just do that and then select the ink link tool and draw the line. There it is, and then expand it again so I can read that. And then when I've finished that, I click on that and it brings it up. So I usually have my documents on top of each other rather than side by side. I don't know why. It's the way I've done it. And then, yes, you can have 3 documents open at once, and you can link that paragraph with that paragraph, and then that paragraph with whatever might be relevant in this case, and then that's all linked together. So if you close the documents, and then you want to see what that link goes to, it will automatically open the document back to the link, and then the third link opens as well. And then I can type So I can type a note and then link the comment to the case.